And Fix Watchdog, how you doing? Thank you for the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. That said, let's get underway. There's a couple guitar riffs I was going over, see if there's any changes. You've been struck by a smooth criminal. I can't remember anything. Can't tell this is true or dream. Feel to scream or feel the scream. In the songbook it says feel to scream, and in the CD it says feel the scream. Now I'm reading the lyrics, it says feel to scream when it's saying the. Now if that change happened, that had to happen back when it was first released, because I remember checking out the tablature back then and that had that discrepancy. So the scream or to scream. It makes sense, the scream. To scream doesn't make any sense, but that's what's printed in the insert. So that's strange. That might just be a misprint, or let me know if you think that's an early Mandela effect. I don't know. And here's another lyric change. is it to change or will change? So, life it seems to fade away. Life it seems will fade away. I personally don't remember will fade away. I've always played it to fade away. So, did I learn it wrong, or did it change? It changed for me. I'm not familiar with like Queen. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. And that other world part's been taken off somehow, supernaturally, or you tell me. So, so it seemed like in the later 80s, shit was fine, and then 91, we experienced a mini end of the world, and that's what brought on U2 until the end of the world, and REM is at the end of the world as we know it, and there's a couple other end of the world songs around the 91 date. So just wondering if these artists knew something we didn't, that they were ending the world, and they knew that we were just going to drift to the next world, which is fine for them, but maybe not for us. And looking at the old Converse commercials where it should be, having a label on the outside and it's in the inside is impossible, because during that time period they had them on the outside, commercial, non-commercial, it was all one way. And then I watched the Nirvana video when it came out in 91, Smells Like Teen Spirit, and I noticed there's Dave Grohl wearing his Converse shoes on backwards or on the wrong foot, and I'm like, what's that about? And a friend that was teaching me guitar at the time goes, oh, those are just knockoffs. So I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. And then 25 years later, there's actually, I should have not believed him, and there's no internet around there to do any research like we do today, but there should have been some piece of evidence. But having a good time playing guitar, somebody just says, oh, those are just knockoffs. Oh, okay. And then it turns out 25 years later, there's something about it. It's the idea that God puts a naysayer or a Mandela effect debunker right in your midst as you're making a discovery. Almost like God doesn't want you to know. And he puts a naysayer in your presence. Oh no, that's just, that's always been like that. Or oh no, And I have this friend that goes, well, we're not the champions of the world anymore, so they had to take that out. Oh, that's easy. You just go in there and remove the lyric after you've sold, millions of CDs. You just go in there and somehow remove the lyric. Oh yeah, they just had to go in there, remove the lyric, because we're not the kings of the world anymore, or champions of the world. We had to go in there and take that lyric out. Oh, okay. That's something that happens every day. You just go in there and remove a lyric that everybody's familiar with for, decades of hearing the song. Oh, yeah, that's all they did. They went in there and removed the lyric. No problem. No biggie. Life goes on. Well, it's the way that once there's something to see, they make it look like there's nothing to, nothing to see here. Move on. So, when I seen those shoes, I thought something was up, but there's always that naysayer God puts around you that, like when it's Christmas time, Santa comes out through the window, but oh, everybody go outside, he's on the roof, and then the presents come in. They did, that kind of shit for years, and then now this. So, I spent a lot of the day trying to figure out dates and like when my first concert was, and my second, and the Nirvana show. Whether I either died at any of these things, or if I died while I was severely sick, so then I drifted to another Earth, along with I just can't stand not knowing. Now that I've known it for a couple of years now, since the scene has been what it is, and I just can't stand not knowing. It's like like a splinter in your mind, like in the Matrix movies. What if I told you there was no splinter in your mind? But yeah, just can't stand it. And I see these commercials where there's no Ed McMahon on the PCH commercial, or old commercials like Sarah Lee. Nobody doesn't like Sarah Lee. Well, I've never heard that before. It was always nobody does it like Sarah Lee. It's not like I have a hearing problem, and if that's the case, it seems like thousands of people have the same hearing problem. They all thought it was, nobody doesn't like Sarah Lee. And then, I thought it was that. Nope, you're wrong. So there's always that person that's from the other reality, seems to be in your presence at the time you make these revelations, these discoveries. And it's always, oh no, it's always been that way. Oh no, you're thinking of this. And in some cases, I do think they get some of the effects wrong at times. But you can't explain, in my opinion, you can't explain the Converse, the Monopoly, Monocle. I don't know. There's just so many. Supposedly, there's 12,000 of these history changes. So, I sat here and tried to write as many as I can down, but then I have to go chase that paper out of the thing, and so it's just a big pain. If you in my opinion, it's just a big, I don't know. I got some message on my phone. Recording will go slower since I'm charging. I don't know. It's just a random video anyway. I don't even. If y'all like the video, great. If you don't, I'm just trying to get my ideas down so I don't lose them. But yeah, nobody is saying about where they think the Mandela effect happened in 91. And I think there's something about, one guy I was talking to online says he thinks 94 was the very start, which is closer to 91 than 2012. And then there's this guy on there that says anybody that thinks that the Mandela effect happened before 2001 is an outlier. Well, I disagree with that presenter, because if that's the case, how did Fiona Broome notice in 2010? So that contradicts that right there. And then 2009, I believe I witnessed the Sex in the City. I noticed a commercial comes on. It's not Sex in the City, it's Sex in the City. And I go, what's that? And I turn to my girlfriend and, oh, it's Sex in the City. Like she didn't know, And then the same thing when Mandela was on the commercial on CBS saying, don't judge black, white, we're all from the same, blah, blah, blah. I was like, whoa, didn't he die? Because I learned in my English class that he died. I think we had to go over that English Alive book. It didn't take the class long to read it or nothing, but that's why I think we had to go over that English Alive. I could just barely remember it. And then it popped in my head, oh yeah, I guess we did learn about Mandela dying in English. I don't know if it was English Alive, but it seemed like we had to read something about it. I don't remember any of those books except for maybe one. So want to say like I remember him dying, and I learned about it in school, but it was just like one time I heard about it, and I don't know. It's weird. How did everybody else hear about it then? If I'm mistaken, so it's and this started for me in November of 2016. I didn't know about it. I was on the moon videos because somebody in 2006 told me that the moon deal had been faked. I never heard of that before. I was like, oh man, I'm pretty sure we made it, bro. And then it turns out like now I'm not even convinced anymore that we went to the moon. So all these Mandela, a couple of them surfaced while I was going over the moon videos. Otherwise, I would have not even known about the effect. It's annoying. Maybe it'd be better off not knowing, but not really, because it eventually catch up. And then the more you not focused on dates, the more that you're confused about it. Like, for example, most people think the Mandela effect didn't happen at all in the year 2000, and it did. With the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood song changed, Jiffy changed, I guess. Monopoly, I guess, was changed then. 99 and into the year 2000 seemed to be a lot of changes, but couldn't really pick up your finger on it. And this Mandela effect wasn't news yet. Nobody knew anything about it. Now there's tons of videos on it. I mean, at first when you type in Mandela effect, you get the same old, like, kind of like, ooh, shook, baby. And then you get the same. It's like a one with the two there. It says critical analysis. Same videos pop up if you say right in Mandela effect. So you have to have like some presenter. You know who the presenters are in order to get the real good ones anymore. And then Barbie, Barbie girl one never sounded right as the Barbie world. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. It's fantastic, made of plastic. It just don't sound good, or it doesn't sound right to me being the. So a lot of these effects will be like, huh? And it will be all, then you go over and go, oh man, I know it wasn't like that. And what if man's doing it, like scientists, I mean, wouldn't that be awesome if God didn't leave a loophole for man to have changed his creation? Because that's what's driving a lot of people, bug house right now, in this sign of the times. But yeah, I feel like I'm fortunate to have noticed that Nirvana video that the shoes, the Converse, were on the opposite side in 91. So, video was released September, I guess, 29th of 91. Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit. And then they got wearing the Converse on the wrong side. And I was like, well, that don't look right. And then, I had one pair of Converse and one pair of Cons. And when I own those, the emblems are always on the outside. So the other question is, why would they go from making Converse All-Stars on the inside, then go to making Cons with the thing on the outside? They wouldn't. They were always on the outside, no matter if you had Cons or Converse All-Stars. They were all on the outside. And now Converse's All-Stars are in the inside, but Cons remain on the outside. Which they may switch sometime too. Oh, and I went over some Looney Tunes. Looked up Looney Tunes like a year ago, something, and it was totally Looney Tunes with the S. Looney Tunes, or Tiny Tunes. Tiny Tunes. And now the S has been taken off of Tiny Toons, so it's Tiny Toon Adventures now. Well, I was looking this up when I first learned about this goings on, and it was definitely Tiny Toons, no question. And now it don't look right to me. So how come the search engines keep changing? Like the search engines keep uh, giving me different results as time goes on. It's like he got information out of that. We need to erase that from reality. That sounds nice. I have to remember that. I already forgot what it was. Anyway, I can review it back later, maybe figure out what I just did. And then, that brings me to Looney Tunes, where videos they're talking about, in 97 and 99 it changed, but then it's always been TUNES. And what weird thing is like, it looked familiar to me as TUNES for a long time, and then today it didn't look familiar to me. Especially the black and white ones. It looked like, it was from a different world or something. So I don't know if I remember TOONS or TUNES. I just can't. They both look right and wrong at different times. So, just, before they do these changes, do they mind probe everybody? Like, oh, the general population doesn't know about so-and-so, so we can change that, and they won't know. Because a lot of people seem to not know the location of Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. So all of a sudden, it's always been Liberty Island, Statue of Liberty on Liberty Island. It sort of sounds good because they match. Oh, it's just a Statue of Liberty on Liberty Island. There's a problem with that. Last time I looked it up, now this could be different now if I was to try to look it up, I don't know, but the last time I looked it up, you could buy tickets for either or Ellis Island Statue of Liberty or Liberty Island Statue of Liberty. Now how can that be? Because there's only one Statue of Liberty, but yet it was giving me search results for both. So, I hope, hope you don't take me lightly. I did see this thing in 91, and I shouldn't have. Were they doing any experiments in 91 that could cause this? I mean, of course they'd probably be top secret. What are they doing out that New Haven thing? New Haven research. I mean, now that this is making me want to look into everything I've been not paying attention on. See if I can't dig up, So far, in my opinion, 91 is the first set of changes. I thought it was 87, but that turned out to be, I don't know, that could still be a Mandela effect, but it seems like it's not now. So I'm going with 91 was the first set of Mandela effects. Which, how can you explain the converse on Dave Grohl's, feet being the opposite side of what we remember the converse being? Some people, yeah, they remember that being on the inside. That's because they're newbies, I think. But it is possible to, I do believe it's possible to be murdered in the multiverse because, Bill Murray, I think he was murdered, so he only exists in the ghost realm. He only exists in the realm that we don't remember. Because he pops on, okay, 1 year, Vince Vaughn sings the national anthem. Da 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 da, and Cracker Jacks. And then I'll never get back. And then the next year, Bill Murray pops on there and says to everybody, please never sing it the way Vince Vaughn sang it ever again, because it's never been that. And then he goes, give me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I hope I never come back. I mean, does that sound right? Give me some peanuts and Cracker Jack? So it don't sound right to me, and most people would agree. So 1 year, I'm watching, and it's just not right. And I didn't know about the effect yet, so your brain just accepts it, like oh, I must have missed it, or I must not be paying attention. And what's with daylight saving time? How's that sound right? I asked some people, and they're like, they never heard of daylight saving time. Only daylight saving. Daylight saving time sounds ridiculous. And Smokey the Bear. And there's other weird effects like, Jim Neighbors supposedly died, and then he came back, and then he died again, like Mandela did, and then Muhammad Ali maybe too. I don't know. So I'm thinking about looking into all this, but it's so time consuming. I mean, and then not knowing, because you have to make a judgment call on what you believe. And it went from where I believe the effect was happening in 87, and now I believe preparation may have started in 87. The actual effect didn't occur until 1990 or 91, I'm thinking. And that was only with the Converse and maybe a couple other. I don't think they changed a whole lot, because I don't think they knew what they were doing. If it was even CERN or you tell me, was it CERN, quantum computing back then? Something had to change those Converse in 91. Was it God? Was it the digital nature of our reality? I don't know, but I want to know. Because I'm tired. Whenever we have these stupid changes, it always goes to a downsizing or cheap change compared to the quality that I remember. And this seems to be going hand in hand with the downsizing of America and taking away America's achievements. We're not good anymore. We caused 9/11, or we faked 9/11 in order to have a foot hold over the rest of the world. I mean, our country's doing some bad shit, and then they betray it like they're fighting a good fight, and then they get Americans behind it, and then we're hated everywhere all of a sudden. And this was back in 91, 2001, of course. Talk about 91, slipped up. So it's just a lot of time. So you look from 91 to 2019. Did I die? Did we all die? Computer simulation, CERN, quantum computing, the chemtrails. I don't know. They figured out something. Yeah, they figured out something. And you remember when the Star Trek movie came out? Nobody's talking about this. I was 2010. Star Trek comes out, right? And it has like new actors, but they have the old Spock. Yeah, and what's he from? A different dimension, crossing over into the new Spock's dimension. And this whole thing that art mimics life, life mimics art, and they stopped talking about that because they know we've been getting too smarter once they revealed that. So. Just riffing. Just coming up with riffs. Because nobody does that anymore. They go like this. And they make their song. Hey, I got this cool song. How about doing it the old way? Anyway, thanks for watching my unprepared video. Just rambling and trying to get some ideas out there. If you like my video, thank you, comment, like, and share, and we'll see you next time.